I don't know, you can fill it up. So I wanted to get your opinion. I'm filming this video on, it's like tips for Americans coming to Paris.
Yeah.
I've got my perspective on it, but I wanted to get your perspective on how Americans can integrate into Paris as seamlessly as possible so that they have the best experience in Paris. Because there's so many things that you can get wrong here and it can give you the wrong impression or the wrong vibe of the city. And you've lived here a lot longer than I have. We've been here about 8 months, but you were here for 2 years beforehand.
Yeah,
so
but
but
that wasn't recently though, and people have changed a lot. But yeah.
So the things I was kind of chatting about was if you're dealing with waiters and they're rude to you, just like leave, get out of there.
Yeah.
Don't put up with that. You know, calibrate to their rudeness, or just think, oh, that's the French.
Normal.
Yeah, it's not the French. It's just
not
the
the
rude
French,
waiters.
It's some Parisian waiters.
Exactly.
Like anywhere else in France, you wouldn't get that.
And then I was talking about like being mindful on the sidewalks because there's so many people here that just like Parisians are really bad for not having a sense of self-awareness. They just barge their way through you or right on your heels as you're walking.
Right behind you, like your ghost.
Oh yeah, like anywhere you go, you want to go into a place and you say bonjour.
Yeah, I was just about to say, just there at the pharmacy, I said bonjour, but not loud enough so she didn't hear me.
Right.
And she went bonjour again. I was like, bonjour, I had just said it, but if you don't say bonjour, they will rip your head off.
I think the mentality is you're coming into their home, like whether it's a cafe, restaurant, even a museum.
It's a pharmacy.
I know, even it's a pharmacy, but they like, oh, you're an outsider, you're coming in here, this is our place. Like, it's just so customary to just begin every interaction with bonjour or bonsoir. So I guess to piggyback off of that, what are your thoughts on what Americans can do to integrate as fast as possible into the Parisian culture?
I mean, my thought would be, don't integrate. I mean, it depends. Are you talking to people who want to move here or just tourists for a week?
Tourists for a week.
Well, I think Americans are way better than French, so I don't think you have to adapt to the French. Well, not the French, the Parisians. Very different breed. But in order to make what I would say is you don't have to make their time better. You want to make your time better.
Yeah.
The rudeness of anything for some people, again, it's not all Parisian. It's mainly like old waiters and stuff like that. Traditionalists. Like, bring you down, or don't let it dampen your view of the city or France, especially because it's totally different. Yeah, don't want to get you down because not everybody's like that. It's just if you go to the touristy places, such as you go to Café de Flore, Les Deux Magots, so obviously where you will probably go your first time in Paris, you go to the Louvre, etc. These will be the most horrible places in a way. Very nice architecturally, but they will be packed with tourists. So I think the waiters are a bit rough because they deal with tourists all day long, and it's a lot of tourists. Paris is the #1 visited tourist spot on earth, so I think it's that. So what I mean is, obviously the first time you will hit all of the touristy spots and enjoy the beauty of it, but you will probably have a bad experience of the human side of it. So don't let that bring you down, because that's just because it's touristy and everybody gets annoyed when you're surrounded by a mob, but then after that, once you've hit those spots, you can go to the more real Parisian places where they're not as packed, and the normal bars and cafes that aren't like on your guidebooks, and then you will have a great time.
Yeah, I think everybody wants to feel like a local when they come to Paris. And I always feel like I'm a local when I'm in Montmartre or off of the main boulevard. It's busy. Well, there's that one square at the top, but there's loads of side streets inside of Montmartre that are so picturesque, and they make you feel like you're a local living there. But yeah, don't let the French waiters get you down. Because in a lot of these places, there's so many people that come in and out. It's like a meat market. Like, they
never see the same faces, so there's still no reason to be mean to anyone, but I guess if you maybe put yourself in their shoes and you deal with that all day long, it probably does get after 20 years kind of annoying.
Yeah, they just kind of treat you like a number. Yeah, you definitely want to go off-piste.
Yeah, but the first time it's normal to hit. It's like you're going to New York, you're going to go to the Statue of Liberty, the top of the Empire State Building. But the Statue of Liberty was a great place to go, but I hated I'm quite agoraphobic anyway to begin with. I hate being in crowds, so it's never a good experience for me. But I think for most people, it's never nice, especially in the height of summer when everybody stinks and you're sweaty. Yeah. Get these places out of the way and then enjoy more of the setback.
And just walk around the city and get lost in it, which is very easy to do.
Yeah, just walk, cycle. I mean, I guess cycling when you don't know, it can be a bit scary if you're not from here. I totally get that. And you don't know especially if you're British, then it's on the other side of the road, like all of that can be quite scary.
Yeah.
But actually, in terms of big cities to cycle in, Paris is relatively pretty easy, to be honest, and not scary. It's not like London when you get the big 2x2s and highways and flyovers and stuff. Like it's all small streets in Paris, so it's not scary. So.
It'd also be good to mention when you're coming to Paris and you want to feel like a local.
Well, I'd say it's nice to try and speak French at first, say bonjour, and even if it's just one sentence, I think people appreciate that. And then obviously you can switch to English, and now actually compared to 12 years ago when I lived here for 2 years, no one spoke French. And I remember seeing poor Americans or Brits trying to speak French, and there was just huge miscommunication, and you could see the salespeople or whoever they were on the other side just being frustrated that they didn't speak French. But now it's the opposite. Everybody figured out in France that you need to speak English, not just for tourists, but for your success in life and career, because it's the number one language. So now finally caught on, and they are speaking English, so they will be more than eager to speak English now, and that's been the main difference I've noticed. So you'll be fine, language-wise.
I mean, it's one of the busiest cities in the world. Everybody here speaks multiple languages, which is a godsend for me. Because
very multi.
I speak very little French, but I get by. A lot of body language.
You can watch movies in English, which you probably weren't able to 12 years ago. You can go to seminars in English. You can go to sports classes. I went to a boxing class and it was all in English.
It was all in
But obviously it was fine for us, but I was like, if I was French, I didn't know, and I show up to a class and it's in English, I'll be like, hey, you could have told me. Like, I'm in France, it's like, and there was no warning. So that was the strangest thing to me, that now it's almost like become a normal thing.
But I'm excited to see what it's going to be like for the Olympics in a year or so. There's going to be nationalities from all over the world here. That's going to be mental. Yeah, the best time of year to come, springtime. Don't come in August. It's nothing but tourists. We were here last time, and the difference between August and September is stark. Paris is a ghost town. It's only filled with tourists.
It's not a ghost town, it's
no
busy.
Locals. Yeah.
But it's not busy with real French people.
Yeah.
So it'll just be you and Germans, Austrians, Australians, Swedish, like.
Yeah. But springtime, April, May is the prettiest time to come. But that's all my thoughts. Is that all your thoughts?
I'd say really watch out for bikes and motorbikes and scooters and stuff like that, though, because they come at you from nowhere. Like there's more chance of you being hit by a bike than a car, I'd say, in Paris. So really watch out before you step out onto the crossing. You'll get your head cut off by a bike. Be prepared to hustle. Like, it's not relaxing. That's it. It's not relaxing. It's great, but go to the beach if you want to relax.
Cool. Au revoir.